It's day number 10, and today we're working with wire and beads, some 6/0s and some seed beads, and we are making a Christmas tree.
You might think the weather's kind of cold, but you know you've got a hand to hold. Come along out.
Not like this. We already have this Christmas tree. We're going to make some little Christmas trees. Actually, we're making one today because it takes a little longer to make this than most of the ornaments I've been showing you. So we're making one Christmas tree, beaded and wire ornament to display on this Christmas tree, which we'll take a look at later in the video when I put that on here. And it's endless. The color combinations are endless. Christmas trees don't have to be all green. They can be any color you want. But I went with fairly traditional colors today for this, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you make them and have fun. Let's get started. Let's make a Christmas tree using 20 gauge craft wire. I'll have a link for this below the video. We're going to cut several pieces of wire. The first piece that I've cut here is 3 inches. We're going to need several branches to our Christmas tree. And we want to graduate down in size. So if we start out at 3, the next one is going to be 2 3/4, 2 1/2, 2 1/4, and now I'm allowing a little extra because I'm going to the end of my ruler instead of right here where the inch begins. So I've got a little cushion there. 3 inches, 2 3/4, 2 1/2, 2 1/4. Let's go to 2 inches. Let's line them up. Let's go with one more. 2 inches was our smallest one. Let's go with one more, 1 3/4. It's going to be the smallest branch on our tree. So we have 6 pieces of wire. I hope you can see that here. 6 pieces of wire, varying by 1/4 inch in size. Let's take our round nose pliers and find the center. So we're going to grab it right around the 1 1/2 mark, and not too far in from the round nose pliers. We are going to bend this up and cross it and put a little loop in the center, which we are going to press, and straighten your wire out just a little bit. So that's one. The next piece of wire is 2 3/4. So now it gets tricky, right? If it was 2 1/2, it would be 1 1/4 would be half of that. And then we need to take half of 1/4, so we need 1/8. This wire is about 2 1/4. So half of 2 is 1, half of 1/4 is 1/8, approximately right here. Cross over, make a loop, try to straighten it a little bit, and give it a little pinch. This is about 2 inches, so about 1 inch. Got a little leeway here. Doesn't have to be 100% perfect, but let's check this. It's about a little less than 1. Remember, we have a loop in it. I've got one side just a little bit longer, so I'm going to compensate here, adjust it just a tiny bit. Got a little bit of a bend in here, so I'm going to give this a little tug, try to straighten it out. And this was originally 1 3/4, so half of 1 1/2 is 3/4 plus 1/8, right about here. And you can eye it if you want. You can wing it. Push these up, cross over, and I can see I'm way off on this one. So what do they say? Measure twice, wrap once, because all of this will be covered with beads. I don't know why the smaller one was more challenging. And then we need another piece of wire that's about, let's just cut the other one about 3 inches. It's probably a little more than what we need. Flush nose cutters. So we have a straight piece, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that have a loop in it. This is going to be the spine of the tree, and it's not going to be that big. It looks really big right now, but it's going to shrink up quite a bit here. Let's go ahead on the spine of the tree and put a small loop at the bottom. Basically, it's a long eye pin. That's what it looks like. We're going to be working with some 6/0 green beads. These are check glass beads. They don't have to be check glass, but typically these are a little more even in size. Not perfect, but a little more. And then I have a variety of colors of little seed beads. I've got some aqua and red, so I'm going to get some of these out. Now you can use any beads that you like for this, as long as you don't go any larger than the 6/0. I do have a little cube bead here, but you could use a little round bead. I'm going to start with a little cube at the bottom. Let's set that aside. Let's start with the longest branch first. This is the lower branch on the tree. And just randomly thread some beads on here. No rhyme or reason. Just alternating the 6/0s with some color. Maybe 1, maybe 2. And then a little seed bead. No specific pattern. The only thing you want to keep in mind is you need enough room left over on the end to make a loop. So you need, this is slightly under my 1/4 of an inch. Well, let's see here. Really close to my 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to turn this loop to the side, and I'm going to bend this wire up, staying fairly close to the end of my round nose pliers, because I really want to get that loop closed all the way. So that's what we have. If you need to, give this a little press again. In fact, if you want to hold on to it with this tool, you can do that as well, if it helps you. Just depends on how you want to pick up your beads. I'm okay with actually just picking them up. And I'm just going to be working with a variety of colors. I'm not loyal to any one color on this little Christmas tree. Again, the most important thing is that we have room at the end. I think I can add one more bead here. These are seed beads. One more bead and still get my loop. So what do I want? I want the loop to the side. Line this up so that I'm bending the wire. You know, I want the loops facing the same direction. I can always twist these a little bit, so let's not worry about that too much for now. Make a little loop on the end so that our beads don't fall off. Okay, one branch down. Let's do another. If you want to put 2 seed beads next together, go for it. Again, just allow enough to make a loop at the end. It's a little bit tight here, but I think I can make a small loop. I'm trying to turn this to the side, although it does want to spin, so as I said, we can adjust them later if we want to. Make a small loop. Just enough that the beads don't fall off. Let's continue filling it up with beads. I am starting with a green in the center though. Green bead first every time. Coming back to the green and then make my loop. Another branch done. Start with a third one. I need some more 6/0s. If this starts to get misshapen at all, just try to straighten it back out, because I could feel when I was making my loop that it was moving on me a little bit. It's a very, very tiny loop at the end. 3 branches down. We're getting there. I kind of like this orange in here. I don't know why, but I do. You know what, I'm going to, sometimes I'm bending it towards me, but for the most part, as long as you get a loop in here, it doesn't really matter. Straighten it out a little bit. We have less and less wire to work with, so this is going to be interesting as we have less wire to work with as we go. Less and less beads, so it goes faster every time. That's really tight, so I'm going to back off from the 6/0.
Come along out and play. What a wonderful day. Your white cheeks are so hard to resist. Those red lips are longing for a kiss. Come along out and play. What a wonderful day.
I can see that I'm not going to be able to get hardly any beads on that last one because it's less and less every time. Again, I felt this push into the center, so I'm going to get my loop back here again. It's okay if it's a little misshapen, doesn't really matter. Here's our last one. Because I went with 2 beads in between everything, I didn't have a lot of room left over to put any little silver bead on top or a larger star. So next time I would just cut the spine of the tree a little bit longer and give myself some flexibility. But we can move these in any direction that we'd like. To make a simple ornament hook, I have 2 inches of wire, 20 gauge wire. I have a bail making tool, and whether you want to start with the larger end or the small end, it's okay. We'll just put this through here flush and bend this around. So we have this, and then switch your tool to the smaller end because I started with the larger end. Have this facing up and then bend it the opposite direction. Bend it around again, and we're just making a simple S hook. It's just a small tree. We don't need a large hook, and you can open this up a little bit to fit over your branch, and you can leave this open or you can close it up a little bit to help keep your ornament on there. So there's our little Christmas tree. It's really pretty, and we can bend these pretty much any way that we'd like to. You can put it on your tree just like this, but they're going to move around, so you might as well hang it on your tree and have some fun and position these however you would like them. So here's our little beaded Christmas tree. I'm only going to make one of these in this video because it did take a little longer to make, but I hope you have fun with this. And again, experiment with your beads. You know, get your bead stash out and experiment with your 6/0s and your seed beads. This could be all seed beads. You don't need any 6/0s at all. And if you allow a little longer center piece for your spine of your tree, you might have room to add a little, metal star up here. I just used the little yellow bicone. So I hope you like this one. But let's take a look at it on my little white Christmas tree.
Almost here, let's toast to a very good year. It's just you and me, chilling right under the tree. Whoa, I love it.
A tad too big for an earring, I'd say, but it makes a really cute Christmas ornament. I'm not going to hold it up again because I'm afraid it disappeared. I hope you enjoyed today, number 10, 10 out of 12, 12 Days of Christmas. I hope you enjoyed this little Christmas tree ornament, and I hope you give it a try. It's really not that hard, but it does just take a little more time than some of the others that I've shown you. I have a playlist set up for all these videos. Look for Beaded Christmas Ornaments 2024. Look for that playlist. Thanks everyone for watching. I'm Vicki with Avante Jewelry, and I'll see you in the next video.